everyone, and welcome to the Bit Arcade. My name is Corey, and in this video, I want to talk about what I'm calling career depression, being a software engineer in this modern world. Uh, I think career depression is the best way I can about describe this thing. It's basically this a job or a career is such a big part of your life that when you feel like you're wasting it every day and every moment of it, it's something that just eats at you. And continually doing the thing that does not make you a better person, a better engineer, or a better teammate, it just, you know, eats at you. And it only seems to exist to pay bills and keep your life afloat. Yeah, so a little background on me. I graduated in 2010, BS in computer science. I quickly then kind of joined the workforce, working for a small web dev e-commerce shop. And I remember being in college, like all I ever wanted was a simple, desk job, pay me to write code, office space type boring. I didn't give a shit. Like, let's just do it. I want to be a programmer and I want to do cool shit. And I remember my very first day of professional work outside of the university, and it was one of the most depressing days of my career, and I remember it vividly. It was just so bland and boring and soul-sucking experience. Because when you're in school, you learn so many new things. Like, power is at your fingertips. The power to build software, the power to, what you think is to change the world. And then the reality hits, and you find yourself, spending hours trying to figure out why a contact us is not submitting an email to a boss, or a drop down isn't showing up on a website. And then you realize you're stuck in this void, this creativeless, passionless void that just it sucks you in, and it only exists to be this ladder so you can go from a junior, mid, senior, lead, make a little bit more money here and there, but you're trapped in the void. It is just a creativeless pit. Um, and I think, many times we find ourselves in this and we're not solving new problems. We're not pushing ourselves to do something great. We're just solving the same problem over and over and over and over in a different context. And I find that, that idea is what a lot of, like, being a software engineer in this kind of world, at least my world, is kind of like. It's a revolving door of the same shit over and over, and just you're not using C sharp, you're using Python, or you're using Ruby, but it's the same problem over and over and over. And I think as engineers, we're instinctively creative. We have to constantly push ourselves out of our comfort zone to grow beyond what we're capable of. And that is not just a reality in the engineering world, but the world around us. We have to break out of what we feel is comfortable, because comfort kills creativity, and it lulls you into this just pit of soul-sucking depression, career depression. And it's that kind of idea is what I'm kind of making this video to talk about. This concept of, falling into a lull. It's this pit of complacency with mediocrity, which is the crux of my problems and my thoughts. And it's something I literally think about every day. Day in and day out, wondering how I can continue wasting my potential, on such what seem like trivial tasks. And careers and jobs are such a huge part of all our lives. They exist a third of our day most time. It's the 8 hour work shift, 8 hour family time, 8 hour sleep time, if everything's going good. And it's this problem I'm trying to tackle, I'm trying to solve, and I don't have answers. I'm not a doctor, I'm just an engineer who solves problems. And this is a intriguing problem to me because I could watch all the self-help videos, Gary V videos, Stoic philosophers, but in the end, it's how do I crack, how do I crack my mind? And I think this is the entry point I am aiming for. It's how can we break the mold of comfort in a field that seems so devoid of creativity? And like I said, I don't have answers for this, but I have methods I'm trying, and that's kind of what I want to talk about next. I have these kind of four rules, you can call it, for like realignment, kind of fix what's going on up there. So here they are. All right. Rule number one: do not be afraid to move jobs. This is not. I don't mean quitting your job. Right, because we're not all trust fund babies. We don't have, you know, banks and stacks on stacks. I mean, don't be afraid to move jobs. The word quit almost makes you feel guilty, um, like you're quitting your, the company. You're abandoning your team. You're giving up. When in reality, it's acknowledging that the company has failed you. It has not set you up for success, and it's not giving you the tools to grow as a person, grow as a team member, to learn and better, and just be a better engineer. And sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. It's, how many times you wake up and wish for a better life? You wake up and go, I wish I was happy with what I'm doing. And I don't think that's something to be ashamed of, for trying to better yourself. You know, you're unique, stay unique, and don't fall into the trap of comfort, which is a coming to be a trend of this video so far. And as I said before, comfort kills creativity. Do not be afraid to push yourself. Rule number two: try everything. It may feel that you're locked into this career destined to sit behind a desk or sit behind a laptop and churn away code in some software factory. You don't have to be. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. I'm not talking about quitting your job and doing the complete opposite and all that. We all have the realities of the world we have to deal with and expenses and all that. I think it's spend your free time exploring, experimenting with everything. You never know what you might like. And that's, streaming on Twitch, right there. Write a short story, read books, do Instagram reviews, take nature photos, learn to write code. Maybe you're not an engineer. Make YouTube videos like this. I don't know what the hell I'm pointing. It doesn't. It's just trying to make sense of everything in your head and what can I do creatively that can help express that? How can I help take what I'm feeling and put out there that maybe somebody else is feeling that too, and I can help them connect and they can help me connect. And you'd be surprised to find, just because you're not good at something, that you actually thoroughly enjoy doing it. For instance, I've been doing, game dev for years, and I've always avoided, 3D modeling and programs, Photoshop, because I was never an artist. I can't draw, which is exactly true, but I found myself doing a lot of 3D modeling, and I really, really enjoyed it. I'm able to kind of break that mental barrier of I'm not an artist, I'm not good at this, to actually make some really cool shit. So I think you'd be very surprised to find, that you are good at things you don't think you would be good at, and they are worthy of your free time. You know, who knows where that can lead? Could lead you down a path you never saw yourself being, that allow you to break out of this, career depression into something and reinvent yourself to something amazing, something great that you had never thought you could be. But it's not until you tried that you'll actually know. And rule number 3. I almost forgot what we're on. Meditation. Um, Now, if you're like me, a year or so ago, you think meditation is this Zen hippie crap, sitting on a tree in the woods, legs folded, all that. When in reality, it's not that. For some people, it is that, but not for me. Meditation for me is about kind of clearing my head of the fog and the stress of everything going on around me. It's about resetting your mental state so you can, focus on what's important. You know, clear out all that shit from the 8-hour day job that is pulling you down. It's anchoring you down to this pit. To clear your head of all that. Like a 10-minute meditation session does wonders for me each morning. Granted, I do miss a lot of mornings, but consistency is key. And consistency is hard. Um, and there are many, many great apps for this. So I highly suggest like Headspace or Insight Timer, especially for beginners. It's very helpful to have somebody kind of walk you through a 10-minute session. How to breathe, how to ignore thoughts, how to focus. I think it's one of the greatest tools in my toolbox that I've learned the past year is the idea of meditation. So I think try it out. It's adaptable to everyone's situation, and it is almost imperative for helping focus on what you really want. And for rule number 4, write shit down. I think moving to notebooks and day planners was immensely important for me for tracking everything I'm doing and being able to visually see my successes and failures. I think writing down goals you want to accomplish, tasks for the day, week, month, or reflecting on past successes. It's just an amazing way to treat yourself to the feeling of you have succeeded, because you have succeeded. It's relishing those small accomplishments. And I think writing them down, physically writing them down, reinforces this idea of these things you have to accomplish. And then when you check them off, you get that visual stimulation of I've accomplished something, I have achieved a goal. And I think a lot of our successes are built on the foundation of lots of small successes, and for that matter, failures. And by granularly, is that a word? No idea. Uh, Breaking down everything and writing it down, um, it's very easy to know what you have to do, stay on track, view what you missed last week, and so on and so on. I have countless notebooks and all my game ideas and day planners. Um, and it takes getting used to like planning out your day early in the morning, and at the end of the day, reflecting on what you accomplished and what you didn't accomplish. Hardships of that day. Did I exercise? Did I not exercise? Did I eat right? All that. But yeah, and that concludes the video. A little more somber than I thought I originally had planned, but I think it's an important topic. And when I sat down to think about what video I wanted to make, it had to be this concept, because this idea is always on my mind, always in my head, and I can't stop thinking about it. And I figured, maybe someone will watch this and it'll help them try to understand what's going on, and maybe they can help me understand what's going on. How do we break out of just being stuck and stagnant professionally in this world. That being said, I do stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and some various days. We're down here. It's a lot more upbeat. I do like game dev, Unreal, um, Elder Scrolls Online, some indie games. It's a good time. So head on there, give me a follow. Link to the Discord is in the description. If you want to kind of chat about this video and this topic, and kind of connect with other people thinking the same way. And if you like the video, thumbs up and give me a subscribe. That'll really help me get going. Or don't, and I'll just stay stagnant. All right, stay classy, internet.